Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who carried out a satisfying revenge. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. We dated for 4 years and had what I thought was a great relationship. We were both well-established professionals who both owned homes in the same neighborhood and both with daughters in the home. Her daughter was 11 and mine was 16 when we met. We had actually planned to get married, build a house, and raise a two together. We planned the house build because she had recently been diagnosed with a neurological disease that would eventually put her in a wheelchair and need something ADA friendly. During the planning stages, I began doing landscape and construction projects on her home to increase the resale value. All in, I invested roughly $30,000 USD into the home, running everything through my side construction business for tax, permitting, and resale purposes. We had a contract that payment would be made upon the sale of the home. I produced invoices for each and every project, but never pushed for payment because of the prior agreement. Fast forward 6 months. We're looking at property to develop and finalizing drawings on the home when I began feeling ill. I couldn't eat, constantly vomiting and passing blood. I began noticing that my abdomen looked swollen, which was odd because we were both very clean eaters and were in the gym every day. So I went to the doctor and began having tests done. During this time, she began having small cognitive issues. So she took a $20,000 per annum cut in pay along with a lesser position inside the company. After a month or so of different tests and biopsy, it came back that I had a golf ball-sized tumor in my stomach and would need to begin chemotherapy. So I began chemo and radiation treatments, which made me unexpectedly so extremely ill. She was spending time helping around my place on the weekends and staying over more, to the point that they were both at my home more than theirs. Wait, both at their home? Or like her daughter and herself? Okay. At this point, I suggested that we go ahead and put one of our houses on the market and move in together until the new house was built. I have great supplemental insurance as well as a long-term illness plan, so using that coupled with the sale of one of our houses would push through comfortably and help ease the financial stress on her. Shortly after this discussion, she became extremely distant. Her daughter wasn't coming down and hanging out with mine anymore. She had excuses for not getting together. She quit driving me to treatments and stopped staying over. She then dropped it, a sentence that will forever be burned into my psyche. I love you, but I can't see myself taking care of someone this sick in the long term, and I don't think we should see each other any longer. Oh, she left him just like that. How dare she start the text with I love you and be like, sorry, but I can't take care of you because you're sick. That's not what I love you means. In a text, it broke me, I won't lie. This was the first woman I had ever opened up to and planned a life with since my wife died when my children were 1 and 3. However, I tried to be mature about it. I forced myself to understand her position and to accept what I could not change. I calmly, the next day, gathered all of her things, packed them neatly, loaded them in my truck, and took them to her house to leave on the back porch while she was at work, in order to avoid any awkward exchanges. Walking around the back and under the porch cover, I sat down a box and saw her in her back living room on the couch, hooking up with a man that she had introduced to me as a lifelong friend. I had dinner and drinks with this man and his girlfriend. We had gone on vacation with them as well. I never spoke of the incident with her and simply sent her a text later explaining that I would leave her things on my side porch to pick up at her convenience. I discovered 8 or 9 months later from his now ex-girlfriend that they had broken up due to him confessing that he had been sleeping with my significant other, dating back to about the time we were finishing drawings on the new home. She's been cheating on him this whole time before he got sick. Now I'm pissed. Revenge time. At this point, I had finished chemo and radiation for the time being and was feeling healthier. I was going through some much neglected paperwork when I ran across the file that contained $32,680 in unpaid, long overdue invoices, which were promptly sent to my attorney to begin proceedings on the home. It turns out that I couldn't have done this a moment too soon because she was set to put her house on the market. Coupled with interest over the course of what was then 19 months overdue, the invoices were hefty. That, along with the agreement of settling them when the house was sold and attorney fees, left her with roughly $10,000 after the sale of the home and settling her current mortgage. She promptly had to back out of the purchase of another home and moved in with her oldest daughter, sister-in-law, and 2 grandchildren. She also had to leave her job and begin receiving disability. I ran into her a little over a year ago, and she looked as if she had aged 20 years and was in the wheelchair we had talked about. We chatted briefly and I excused myself and went on with my day. A few days later, her younger daughter called me and spoke of running into her mum and could we hang out sometime. I gave a vague answer, thanked her for calling, and again went on with my day. The ex then called me a week or so later and began apologizing for leaving me as she did. Again but short, I thanked her for calling and hung up. She began texting and this went on for several weeks until one she asked if I could ever see us rekindling what we had. Okay, where were you when he was sick? Why didn't you want to hang out with him and support him while he was sick? Why weren't you there to give him energy when he was sick? To which I replied, I can't see myself taking care of someone so sick in the long term. Remember the box on your back porch? Did you think that lifelong friend brought that over to you from my house? Good luck to you. Goodbye. I love how he was just so calm with everything, you know. This wasn't even like a big revenge. It wasn't really a revenge, honestly. It was just what they were meant to do after they broke up, basically. What happened to her lifelong friend then, you know? He was probably the same as her, you know? Being like, oh, I don't want to take care of you. Like, you can't expect someone to do something for you when you weren't there to do something for them. She wants him to get back together with her when she's sick and can't take care of herself, but she wasn't even there to do that for him. Are you kidding me? But honestly though, thank gosh this guy was smart enough to do everything prior to the home, you know, like the contracts, the constructions, everything. Thank gosh. The initial reason for the revenge happened in 2013, but the revenge only happened in 2017. I'll keep everything vague as not to be recognized. For context, back in 2013, I was a graduate student pursuing my master's degree. That was my last year in the program. We had 24 months to finish all the work and dissertation. My advisor was a professor who was very well known and experienced on my field of work. Let's call her Jeanette. Jeanette and I had worked together with research since my college days as I became part of an undergraduate research with her. At that point, we had been working for about 4 years, and as any advisor-student relationship, we more had our disagreements quite often. Jeanette was used to doing her experiments a certain way. I knew there were better uses of our grants money and always tried to push towards a more advanced method, especially correlating data collection and statistics. However, our relationship was always good. I knew her husband and had been to her house numerous times. She was a little set on her ways, but we managed to make good progress on our field. Anyway, by the end of 2013, I presented my dissertation to the department and was approved with flying colors. My data still wasn't published in any paper as I wanted to have more analysis in different areas to make a more robust and better paper. With that said, my dissertation was published, and by all reasons, that is my work and my experiments. After I got my MS, I decided to pursue a PhD. While I was still going to work in the same field, I wanted to use different techniques and thus talked with Jeanette about going to pursue a PhD under a different professor in another university. She always encouraged me to do better and look for ways to diversify my views. I went ahead and contacted a professor outside my country in another university to pursue my PhD. I got approved and soon moved away. For the next 2 years, I still kept contact with Jeanette, but on the third, she stopped responding. Initially, I thought she had changed her email or something, but didn't think much of it. Time flew by, and in 2017, while reading papers and writing my own, I came across a paper that was strangely similar with my research. Interested in it, I opened it up to read. For my shock, it was a paper by my ex-advisor. She was up as advisor and another guy who from his curriculum is her current master's student. Reading the title, I thought, hey, that's neat. She continued researching it. But boy, I was wrong. Reading the paper, I got increasingly angry. That wasn't a new research. It was my research. My data was all in that paper, even my graphs and tables. Initially, I thought, oh well, she's also an author, and if she's citing it, there shouldn't be a problem. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. My name was nowhere near that paper, as they claimed that research as original. Are you kidding me? She's an advisor stealing work. Now I was livid. I sent an email to Jeanette confronting her, which was never replied to. However, I am not a pushover and would never allow people to claim my work as theirs. She made a mistake by using my data. I'm a researcher and I keep everything I ever worked on saved in external SSDs, encrypted and on my own possession, all catalogued with date entries, and even had my own dissertation to prove my work. In my country, research is financed by the government grants. I wrote an email to the dean of the grants institution, explaining all the situation with proof of everything. I also sent an email to Journal in which that was published, contesting the paper and explaining everything. It didn't take longer than 15 days for me to get a follow-up. The institution responsible for the grant was furious. They cut all financial aid for her and her student and made a formal requirement to the university requesting her immediate termination. Yes. The journal retracted the paper and is now suing her for plagiarism. Seriously, shouldn't she know better as an advisor? She's really gonna plagiarize? What in the world? After all these years, I learned that she was indeed fired and haven't been able to work in the field ever since. I never met her again and have no intention of ever doing so. Now, my work is published and I'm recognized by my contributions in the field. Maybe that was a petty thing to do, but I couldn't allow people to get away with claiming my work as theirs. That's not petty at all. I don't even think that's like a revenge. That's what they were supposed to do. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!